Welcome to the deep dive. The entertainment world, and honestly, I think so many of us were really hit hard by the recent tragic news about Shefali Jariwala. Her passing was just so untimely.
Absolutely. And for so many people, she's instantly recognizable as the Kaanta Laga girl. That image from the early 2000s.
Exactly. That song, that video.
Yeah.
But her story, her life, it was so much more complex, so much deeper than just that one massive hit.
It really was. When you dig into her journey, what's really striking is just how many different facets there were. She was that pop icon, sure, but also, a reality TV favorite, a health advocate.
Right.
And someone who just kept reinventing herself, really. So our mission here in this deep dive is to try and get beyond those initial headlines, the shock of it all.
Yeah, and explore the fascinating life she actually led.
Precisely.
And we've gathered quite a comprehensive set of sources for this. We've tried to pull out the most important bits of information, the key insights into her remarkable story. Our goal for you is to get a quick, but still pretty thorough understanding of her journey. From how she unexpectedly got into entertainment right through to her personal struggles and what she leaves behind.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll uncover some surprising facts, maybe a few moments where you go, oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Definitely. So where should we start? The beginning seems logical.
Okay, yeah. Let's start at the beginning. Shefali Jariwala, born December 15th, 1982 in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, came from a middle-class Gujarati family.
A pretty traditional Indian upbringing, from what the sources say, and quite academic early on.
That's right. Very focused on studies, which leads us to something that I think will surprise quite a few people listening.
Ah, this part. Yeah, it's really interesting. We all know her as this amazing dancer, this performer.
Right. But her education, she actually got an engineering degree.
In information technology, from Sardar Patel College of Engineering in Anand, an IT engineer.
It's quite the contrast, isn't it? An IT engineer who becomes this huge pop sensation.
Yeah.
It really speaks volumes.
It does. It's just this real creative sparks, as our sources put it. Despite that very technical background, something was pulling her towards entertainment.
Yeah, a strong pull. And it shows, I think, a certain bravery, maybe, to follow that passion when it's so different from your training, your expected path.
Absolutely. And that spark, well, it didn't just glow. It basically exploded in 2002. She was only 20.
Just 20 years old.
Yeah.
And she debuts in the music video Kaanta Laga, a remix of an old classic Hindi song.
And it wasn't just, another music video release. This thing became a cultural moment almost overnight.
It really did. The sources talk about its bold styling and energetic choreography. It just hit a nerve, became a, quote, cultural phenomenon.
And boom, she was the Kaanta Laga girl instantly.
That name just stuck, didn't it, for her entire life? It made her one of the most recognized faces in Indian pop music back then in the early 2000s, just synonymous with that whole era.
So after a massive breakthrough like that, Kaanta Laga, what comes next? That's always the big question, right?
Mm-hmm. Does she try and replicate it? Or find a new direction?
Well, she definitely didn't vanish, but she diversified, you could say. She did a few films. I remember her in Mujhi Shadi Karogi back in 2004 that had Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar.
Right, a supporting role. But it's interesting, she didn't seem to chase a major Bollywood leading lady career path, not in the way you might expect after such a huge hit.
No, she didn't. But she stayed visible. Other music videos, TV appearances. She even did regional films. Didn't she have some success in Canada cinema?
Yes, exactly. The film Hudugaru was mentioned as a commercial success. What's really fascinating is how adaptable she seems to have been, always exploring.
And then she made that really significant shift towards reality TV.
Ah, yes. That's where a lot of people reconnected with her or maybe discovered her for the first time.
Dance shows, right? Boogie Woogie and Nach Belia. She did 2 seasons of that, didn't she? With her husband.
Seasons 5 and 7, yeah.
Yeah.
With Parag Tyagi, the actor. And they were apparently really popular. People loved their chemistry, their performances.
Yeah, the sources highlight that. And she even did a web series later on, Baby Come Na, in 2018.
Right, showing that versatility again. It wasn't just about the dancing anymore. It was about finding new ways to connect.
So if you look at her career, it wasn't like a straight lineup. It was more like evolution, finding new platforms.
Constantly evolving, exactly. And maybe the most impactful reinvention, certainly in recent years, was when she entered Bigg Boss 13.
Oh, definitely. That was huge. A wild card entry in 2019.
And she made a real impact in the house. People really responded to her.
Yeah, she was appreciated for her, what did the sources say? Maturity and emotional depth.
And being direct, sensible, and emotionally honest. in that kind of environment, that really stands out.
It does. She wasn't just playing the game. It felt like she was being genuinely herself. And her interactions, especially with Siddharth Shukla.
Oh, yeah, that got a lot of media and fan attention.
For sure. It kind of raises a question, doesn't it? How can a show like Bigg Boss, which can be so intense, actually, like, revive someone's popularity?
It's interesting. For Shefali, even though she didn't win, her time on the show absolutely revived her popularity among a new generation of viewers.
A whole new audience connected with her, which is pretty remarkable in itself.
It really is. It's about showing a different side, maybe a more real side of yourself.
But while all this was happening, the fame, the reality shows, behind the scenes, she was dealing with something really significant, a personal challenge.
Yeah, that's something that honestly many people probably didn't know. She was diagnosed with epilepsy.
At 15, that's incredibly young.
15 years old. And dealing with that while trying to build and maintain a career in the public eye, that's immense pressure.
How did she manage it? The sources mention medication, lifestyle changes.
Yes, medication, lifestyle adjustments, yoga was mentioned too. She managed it for years. But what's truly inspiring, I think, is that she spoke about it publicly.
That takes courage.
Huge courage to talk openly about living with epilepsy. She didn't just keep it private. She used her platform, her voice, to help raise awareness about the condition.
And you have to imagine that inspired a lot of people going through similar things.
Undeniably. It showed incredible strength sharing something so personal.
So, looking at her personal life then, beyond the epilepsy advocacy, what else do we know about the woman behind the headlines?
Well, our sources mention her first marriage back in 2004 to Harmeet Singh, the musician from Meat Bros.
Right. But that ended, and it was quite public, wasn't it? A difficult divorce in 2009?
Yes, it was described as controversial and publicized, and there were mentions of allegations of abuse and harassment in some reports from that time. A tough period for her, clearly.
But then later she found happiness again.
It seems so. In 2014, she married Parag Tyagi, the television actor we mentioned earlier, and their relationship sounds like it was very different.
How so?
Described as built on strong mutual respect and love. They often appeared together, seemed very solid, very affectionate.
That's good to hear. And didn't she talk about wanting kids? About adoption?
Yes, that's something she spoke about quite openly. Her dream of becoming a mother, and specifically their plans to adopt a baby girl.
Oh, wow.
But apparently there were certain personal or legal hurdles that, reportedly delayed the process. It was a dream she held on to.
That adds another layer, doesn't it? This deeply personal aspiration alongside her public life. So, in more recent years, before the tragic news.
She seemed to maintain a slightly lower public profile. Stepped back from the intense glare a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But still very active on social media.
Right. I remember seeing her posts, supporting mental health causes, sharing bits of her life, what she called her peaceful domestic life.
Yeah. And then just the shock.
The absolutely shocking news. June 27th, 2025, she was only 42.
Passed away at her home in Andheri, Mumbai. Reports say her husband found her unresponsive, rushed her to Bellevue Multi-Speciality Hospital.
Where doctors declared her dead on arrival. Just awful.
Truly awful. And the exact cause of death, it's important to stress, is still being investigated.
Yes, that's crucial. Though there have been initial reports, theories circulating.
Right. There's been mention of a sudden cardiac arrest. Some speculation possibly linking it to an anti-aging injection she took on an empty stomach. Though that seems very speculative at this stage.
And also maybe complications related to her long-term epilepsy, something called SUDEP.
Exactly. SUDEP, sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. It's a known, though thankfully rare, risk for people with epilepsy where death can occur suddenly, often during or after a seizure, without another clear cause.
Okay, so that's another possibility being considered.
Yes. An autopsy was done at Cooper Hospital, but the final medical report is still awaited. The police are involved, naturally.
Forensics investigated the apartment, took statements from her husband, building staff.
Standard procedure in such cases. But reports indicate no foul play has been confirmed at this point. The Mumbai police are handling it.
The reaction from the entertainment industry, just profound shock, right?
Absolutely. You saw tributes pouring in from people like Mika Singh, Ali Ghoni, Himanshi Khurana, Rashmi Desai, Tazim Poonawalla. People who knew her, worked with her. It clearly hit hard.
And the fans, too. Social media was flooded with mourning, people sharing clips.
Yeah, clips from Kaanta Laga, clips from Bigg Boss.
Yeah.
Remembering all those different parts of her journey we've talked about.
It really shows the impact she had across different eras.
Definitely. And her legacy. when you step back and look at it all.
Yeah.
It really is about that reinvention, isn't it?
Yeah. A woman who boldly redefined herself multiple times. Think about it, IT student,
That overnight music video star.
then a reality show favorite, a health advocate.
And, it's the compassionate woman with dreams of motherhood. It's quite an arc.
So what does her story, her incredible journey, really tell us? I think it shows her life was it was marked by that reinvention, yes, but also by real courage and a surprising depth.
She took that early, almost accidental fame and turned it into something more. A platform for awareness, for kindness. She didn't let her struggles define her.
No, she didn't. It's a powerful story of resilience, isn't it? Adaptability and humanity.
She was in the public eye for decades, faced down significant personal challenges, used her voice for good. Her story really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
What does Shefali Jariwala's life and her sudden passing tell us about maybe the hidden depths we don't always see in public figures? About how resilient people can be, and how fame can be this incredibly bright spotlight, but also sometimes a kind of veil covering the most personal battles people fight.
That's a really poignant thought to end on, something for all of us, I think, to reflect on.